Good morning, students. Welcome back to the session. Today we are going to learn chapter 2, polynomials. Polynomials. This polynomial chapter already you learnt in your previous class. In 9th standard you learnt about polynomials. What is a polynomial? A polynomial is an algebraic expression having more than one term, one or more than one term. It is an algebraic expression. It has one or more than one terms with a non-zero coefficient. Now, there are different types of polynomials, constant polynomials, zero polynomials. What do you mean by constant polynomial? A polynomial having only one term, that is a real number without variable, is called constant polynomial. The example for constant polynomial is 2, 3 or root 2, root 3, etc. All these are the examples for constant polynomial. Next is zero polynomial. What do you mean by zero polynomial? A constant polynomial is zero. A constant polynomial is zero. Then it is called as zero polynomial. Example 0. This is a zero polynomial. The constant polynomial 0 is called zero polynomial. Next you learned the degree of the polynomial. What do you mean by degree of the polynomial? That is the highest power of the variable which is involved in that expression. Highest power of the variable. For example, x plus 1. What is the variable over here? X. What is the degree of this variable? 1. So that the degree of this polynomial is 1. Now, x square plus x cube plus x plus 1. Now, in this polynomial, the variable is x. And what is the highest power of the variable here? 3. So, that degree is 3. So, degree is nothing but the highest power of the variable. Then, next you learnt the depend on the degrees. Suppose the degree of the variable is 1. The highest power of the variable involved is 1. Then it is called as linear polynomial. Linear polynomial have degree 1. Then you learnt quadratic polynomial. Degree 2. Cubic polynomial. Degree 3. So on. Understood? Okay. Now I'll give some examples. Now you tell me which one of them. Here I gave 5 examples. 5 examples. Tell me which one is a polynomial and which one is not a polynomial. Now first one, we'll take first example. 2x minus 3. Is it a polynomial? Yes, it is a polynomial. It is a polynomial. Why? Because the degree of the variable is a positive integer. The power of the variable is a positive integer. So, it is a polynomial. Now, root x plus 2. Is it a polynomial? Root x plus 2. So, root x plus 2 can write as x to the power 1 by 2 plus 2. Is it a polynomial? No, this is not a polynomial. Not a polynomial because the power of the variable is not a integer. It is not an integer. Therefore, this is not a polynomial. 3x square plus x plus 1. Yes, it is a polynomial. It is a polynomial. where degree of the variable is 2, which is a positive integer. Then here x to the power minus 2 plus x plus 1. Now here power of the variable is a negative integer, so this is not a polynomial. Not a polynomial. Then 1 by x plus 3. Is it a polynomial? 1 by x plus 3. So 1 by x can be written as x to the power minus 1 plus 3. Right? So is it a polynomial? No. This is not a polynomial. Not a polynomial. Because the degree of the variable is minus 1, which is not a positive integer. So 1 by x plus 3 is not a polynomial. Next one. 1 plus 1 by root x. Is it a polynomial? No, this is also not a polynomial because 1 plus 1 by x to the power 1 by 2. So which can be written as 1 plus x to the power minus 1 by 2. The power of the variable is not a positive integer. Therefore, this is not a polynomial. To say that particular algebraic expression is a polynomial, the degree of the variable should be a positive integer. It should be non-negative integer. So here some examples I can collect a few more examples and identify whether it is a polynomial or not. Okay. After this you learnt linear polynomial. What is the general form of a linear polynomial? General form of linear polynomial is P of x equals to ax plus b, where a and b are real numbers and x is the variable. So where a is not equal to 0, this is the general form of linear polynomial. You also learned the 0 of the polynomial. 0 of the polynomial is nothing but when the expression is equated with 0, that is ax plus b equals to 0, then ax equals to minus b, x equals to minus b by a. This is the gives the 0 of the polynomial. So for all linear you will get only 1 0. That 0 is minus b by a. 0 is nothing but x value. When the expression is equated with 0, then x equals to minus b by a is the 0 of the polynomial. For all linear equations, you will get only 1 0, that is x equals to minus b by a. In this minus, what is b? b is a constant term. Constant term, and a is coefficient of x. Coefficient of x. So b is a constant term in this linear polynomial and a is the coefficient of x. So that 0 of the polynomial x is minus b by a, which is minus of b is nothing but constant term upon coefficient of x. You also learnt the geometrical meaning of linear polynomial. geometrical meaning of the zeros of the polynomials. That is, for linear polynomial, you will get a straight line. And this straight line intersects the x-axis at only one point. For example, you take take a linear polynomial p of x equals to x plus 1. Now we'll plot graph for this polynomial. So y equals to x plus 1. Put x as 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is minus 1, y is 0. When x is minus 1, y is 0. Now we plot graph for this linear polynomial. X and vertical line y-axis. Okay, 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2, 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. Okay. Now we plot graph for this linear polynomial x plus 1. When x is 0, y is 1. The point is here. Then when x is 1, y is 2 here. Then when x is minus 1, y is 0. Now join these 3 points. You will get a straight line. It means that for all linear polynomials, you will get a straight line. So this straight line intersects x-axis at only one point. This point gives the 0 of the polynomial, that is minus b by a, 0. X coordinate is minus b by a and y coordinate is 0. So for all linear polynomials, the graph of linear polynomial is a straight line. The graph of a linear polynomial is a straight line which intersect x-axis at only one point, and that point is minus b by a, 0. Now we'll take quadratic polynomials. Now take a polynomial, quadratic polynomial x square. What is the degree of the polynomial? 2 here. So this is a quadratic polynomial. Okay. Now for this we'll plot graph. So y equals to x square. Now when x is 0, y is also 0. When x is 1, y is also 1. When x is 2, then y equals to 4. When x is 0, y is also 0. When x is 1, y is also 1. When x is 2, y is equal to 4. Now we plot graph for this. See here. Okay. Now 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now when x is 0, y is also 0. The point is here. Then when x is 1, y is also 1. When x is 1, y is also 1. Here. Then when x is 2, y is 4. X is 2, y is 4. If you take x equals to minus 2, then also y equals to 4. Minus 2 whole square is plus 4. So when x is minus 2, y is 4. Now join all these points. So you will get a curve. So see here, for this quadratic polynomial p of x equals to x square, we get a curve. Curve open upward. So this shape is called as parabola. Parabola. So quadratic polynomial, for all quadratic polynomials, you will get a graph like a parabola, either open upward or open downward. Now this graph is open upward. Okay. Now we'll take one more quadratic polynomial. P of x equals to x square plus 1. P of x equals to x square plus 1. This is also a quadratic polynomial because the degree of this polynomial is 2. Okay. Now, y equals to x square plus 1. Now, when x is 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is 2. 1 square is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. When x is minus 1, then also y equals to 2. Okay. Now we plot graph for this. Y axis and this is x axis. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2. So minus 1, minus 2. Okay. Now, when x is 0, y is 1. Now, when x is 1, then y is 2. Then, when x is minus 1, then y is also 2. See here. Now, join these points. See here. Again you will get a curve. We call it as parabola, open upward. In the previous example, y equals to x square. You will get a parabola, open upward, where the parabola touches x-axis at 0, 0. But here in this case, the parabola does not touch x-axis, which is above the x-axis. Right? So, we'll take one more example. Now you take one more example. P of x equals to x square minus 1. First we took x square. Next is x square plus 1. And this one is x square minus 1. Now in this one, when x is 0, y is minus 1. And when x is 1, y is 0. When x is minus 1, y is 0. Now plot these points. See here, when x is 0, y is minus 1 here. So 1, this is minus 1. Okay. Then when x is 1, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 0. When x is minus 1, then y is 0. Now join these points. See here. So in this graph, see here, the curve intersects x-axis at two different points. Here in the first example, P of x equals to x square, the curve just touches the x-axis at this point, that is 0, 0. Then, in the second example, P of x equals to x square plus 1. So, for this polynomial, the graph does not touch x-axis which is above the x-axis. From this graph, we will come to know that any quadratic polynomial, we get a curve called parabola, which will be open upward or open downward. Then when the graph, see here, just touches the x-axis, then it has two equal zeros. It has two equal zeros. So we take it as 1, 0. When the parabola touches x-axis, at this point we get 2 equal 0, considered as 1, 0. Now in the second example, you see x square plus 1. The parabola does not touch x-axis. It means that no zeros. This quadratic polynomial has no zeros. Then polynomial like this, x square minus 1. So x square minus 1, the graph of this x square minus 1 touches the x-axis at two different points. So which gives the zeros of the polynomial. So we can say it has two zeros. When the curve intersect x-axis at two different points, we say that it has two zeros. When the graph, the parabola does not touch the x-axis, then we say no zeros. Then the parabola just touches x-axis at one point. It has two equal zeros, considered as 1, 0. So far we discussed the parabola open downward. Now we discuss when we get parabola open. So far we discussed parabola open upward. Now we are going to discuss parabola open downward. What is the condition? Okay. Let us take a quadratic polynomial. P of x equals to minus x square plus 1. Minus x square plus 1. Now you see y equals to minus x square plus 1. Now put x as 0. So x as 0, then y equals to plus 1. When x is minus 1, then y is equal to minus of minus 1 whole square plus 1. So minus 1 whole square is plus 1. Plus 1 into minus is minus 1 plus 1, which is 0. Okay. Then take x equals to 1. X equals to 1. Then also y equals to minus into 1 square plus 1, which is also 0. Then now we plot graph for these points. So vertical axis, y-axis, and the horizontal axis, x-axis. Both intersect at point O. Okay. Now we locate these points. When x is 0, y is 1. When x is 0, y is 1. When x is minus 1, y is 0. When x is 1, then also y is 0. So x is minus 1, y is 0. When x is 1, then also y is 0. I will take one more point. When x equals to 2, then y equals to minus of 2 square plus 1. 2 square is 4. So minus 4 plus 1, which is minus 3. Okay. So when x is 2, y is minus 3. Right. Similarly, x is minus 2. Then y equals to minus of minus 2 whole square plus 1. So minus 2 whole square is plus 4. So plus into minus, minus 4 plus 1, which is minus 3. So when x is minus 2, then it is minus 3. Now join these points. What we get? We get a parabola open downward. See here, in this previous example, we took x square plus 1, we got parabola open upward. But here we took minus x square plus 1. For this we got parabola open downward. It means that in a quadratic polynomial, if the coefficient of x square is positive, coefficient of x square is positive, then we get parabola open upward. Coefficient of x square is positive, then we get parabola open upward. When the coefficient of x square is negative, then we get parabola open downward. This is a very important condition to get two types of parabolas. That is coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square is positive, then we get parabola open upward. When the coefficient of x square is negative, then we get parabola like this, open downward. Okay, so this is the difference between parabola open upward and parabola open downward. Now, what is the general form of a quadratic polynomial? The general form of a quadratic polynomial is, the general form of a quadratic polynomial is p of x equals to ax square plus bx plus c. This is the general form of a quadratic polynomial where a is not equal to 0. This is the condition. The general form of a quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, where a is not equal to 0. This is the general form of a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, the general form of a cubic polynomial is p of x equals to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a is not equal to 0. This condition is very important. When a equal to 0, then you will not get a quadratic polynomial. You will get a linear polynomial here. And in cubic polynomial, if a is equal to 0, we get a quadratic polynomial. Why? Because 0 into x cube is 0. So, the remaining terms belongs to quadratic polynomial. So, therefore, this condition is very important. A not equal to 0. So, the general form of a quadratic polynomial is p of x equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equal to 0, and the general form of a cubic polynomial is p of x equals to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equals to 0, cx plus d, where a is not equal to 0. Okay, the graph of a quadratic polynomial p of x equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0, has one of the two shapes, that is, one is parabola open upward and parabola open downward. When the parabola open upward, the coefficient of x square is positive. When the coefficient of x square is negative, we get parabola open downward, and we get these three possibilities, that is case 1, case 2 and case 3. In case 1, the parabola intersect x-axis at 2 points. So, x-axis and this one is y-axis. So, parabola intersect x-axis at 2 points. We say that it has 2 zeros. So, like this, open upward and open downward. So here parabola open downward, it has two zeros. These 2 points gives the zeros of the polynomial. So it has two zeros. Two zeros. In the second case, what happened? I showed it just touches the x-axis. Parabola just touches the x-axis like this. So here we get two identical zeros, two equal zeros considered as 1 0. 1 0. Next, third case. Here parabola does not touch x-axis, which will be completely above the x-axis or below the x-axis. So in such cases we say that the quadratic polynomial has no zeros. So here in this case the graph intersects x-axis at two distinct points. So we say that it has two zeros. So here in the second case what happens? The parabola touches x-axis at only one point. It has two equal zeros considered as 1 0. And in the third case, the parabola does not touch x-axis at any point, which will be completely above the x-axis or below the x-axis. Then the quadratic polynomial has no zeros. No zeros. I hope you understood this concept. How many zeros a quadratic polynomial has? At the most two zeros. So any quadratic polynomial has at the most two zeros. At the most means it may have no zeros, 1 0, maximum means two zeros. Okay. So far we learned how many zeros a quadratic polynomial. A quadratic polynomial has at the most two zeros. That means it may have 1 0, 2 0 or no zeros. Suppose a polynomial of degree n. It has n number of zeros. So any polynomial of degree n has n number of zeros. What about cubic polynomial? A cubic polynomial has at the most 3 zeros because the degree of the polynomial is 3. So that at the most 3 zeros. You may get 1 0, 2 0 or 3 0 or sometimes no zero also. So all the quadratic polynomial has at the most two zeros because the degree of it depends on the degree of the variable. Okay, so you may get two zeros, you may get 1 0 or no zero. Similarly, for cubic polynomial, you will get at the most 3 zeros or 2 zeros or 1 0 or no zero. Okay, so this cubic polynomial we will discuss later. Now, the relationship between zeros and its coefficients of a polynomial. Now we are going to discuss the relationship between zeros and its coefficients of a polynomial. For example, if you take a polynomial x square minus 4. What are the zeros of the polynomial? How we can find the zeros of this quadratic polynomial? This is a quadratic polynomial, right? Because the degree of the variable is 2, so it is a quadratic polynomial. So this quadratic polynomial you will get at the most two zeros. Now you find the zeros of the polynomial first, then we compare this one, find the relationship between zeros and its coefficients. So to find the zeros of the polynomial, first you have to factorize this polynomial. So x square minus 4 can be written as x square minus 2 square, which is nothing but a square minus b square. The factors are x plus 2 and x minus 2. When the given polynomial is equated with 0, we will get zeros of the polynomial. So when p of x equals to 0, then x plus 2 equals to 0, x equals to minus 2, and x minus 2 equals to 0, x equals to plus 2. Therefore, the zeros are 2 and minus 2. The zeros of this polynomial are 2 and minus 2. Now we have to find the relationship between these zeros and its coefficient. Now I will add these two zeros. So sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Now add two zeros. So 2 plus of minus 2, which is 0. Sum of the zeros is 0. Now product of the zeros. Find the product of the zeros. So 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. Now I will compare with the coefficients of this polynomial. Okay. Now see here, 0 we can write as, can we write as 0 by 1? So 0 by 1 is 0. Similarly we can write it as minus 4 by 1. Now see here, what is 0 over here? The coefficient of x is 0. See here. So this you can write as x square minus or plus 0 into x minus 4. What is 0 here? 0 is coefficient of x. So 0 is the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x divided by, then what is 1 here? Coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square. So 0 is the coefficient of x and 1 is the coefficient of x square. So this we can write as, 0 has no sign. So minus of coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. Here, what is minus 4 in the given polynomial? It is a constant term. So constant term divided by coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square. Now you can see the relation between zeros and its coefficient. Sum of the zeros is nothing but minus of coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square, where product of the zeros is nothing but constant term divided by coefficient of x square. Now, in general, any quadratic polynomial of the form p of x equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equal to 0, has at the most two zeros. So these two zeros we take as alpha and beta. Alpha, beta are the Greek letters. So let the two zeros are, let the two zeros are alpha and beta. Alpha and beta. Then x equals to alpha and x equals to beta. So x minus alpha and x minus beta are the two factors of the polynomial. So take a quadratic polynomial of the form ax square plus bx plus c. You know that it has at the most two zeros. So the two zeros are alpha and beta, that is x is alpha and x equals to beta. Now the two factors of this polynomial, quadratic polynomial, are x minus alpha into x minus beta are the two factors of this polynomial. Therefore, ax square plus bx plus c can be written as k into any constant k, x minus alpha into x minus beta, where k is a constant. So, constant term. Okay. Now, multiply these two. See here, multiply. See here, x square minus alpha x, then minus beta x, then minus into minus plus alpha beta. So that is k into x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. Now compare the coefficient of x square, x and the constant terms. On comparing both the LHS and RHS, comparing the coefficient of x square, x and c. ax square plus bx plus c. On comparing the coefficients. So on comparing the coefficient, you will get a equals to k, then b is equal to k into minus alpha plus beta. So b equals to minus alpha plus beta, right? Then c is equal to k into alpha beta. On comparing the coefficient of x square, so x square is a is equal to k. Then on comparing the coefficient of x, b equals to k into minus alpha plus beta. Then constant term c equals to k into alpha beta. It means that when a equals to k, then b equals to minus a alpha plus beta, and c equals to a alpha beta. On comparing the coefficients, a equals to k, b equals to minus k into alpha plus beta, and c equals to k alpha beta. Now, a equals to k, then b equals to minus a into alpha plus beta. That is, alpha plus beta equals to b by minus a, which is nothing but minus b by a. So, sum of the zeros alpha plus beta equals to minus b by a. Similarly, c equals to k into alpha beta. So, which is c equals to a into alpha beta. Therefore, alpha beta equals to c by a. Now, alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial. So, sum of the zeros is equal to minus b by a, and product of the zeros equal to c by a. That is nothing but minus into coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square, and here product of the zero is equal to constant term divided by coefficient of x square. So this is one of the important relation between zeros and its coefficients. Once again I will repeat, a quadratic polynomial p of equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equal to 0 has two zeros. Quadratic polynomial has at the most two zeros. the two zeros take as alpha and beta. What is alpha and beta? The two zeros of the polynomial. They are the Greek letters. Okay. One zero is alpha and the other zero is beta. So, x equals to alpha beta are the two zeros of the polynomial. It means x minus alpha and x minus beta are the two zeros of the two factors of the polynomial. So you can write ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now where you can write it as k into x minus alpha, x minus beta, where a is not equal to 0. Now, so ax square plus bx plus c. Now multiply these two factors, you will get x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So which is nothing but kx square minus k into alpha plus beta into x plus k alpha beta, where k is a constant. Okay. Now on comparing the zeros, this coefficient of x square and x and then the constant term. On comparing the coefficient of x square, x and constant term, we get a equals to k. So these two are the coefficients of x square. Then coefficients of x, that is b equals to minus k into alpha plus beta. Next is the constant terms, c equals to k into alpha beta. Okay. Now a equals to k, then b equals to minus a alpha plus beta. That is alpha plus beta equals to minus b by a, and k is equal to a equals to k, so that c equals to a into alpha beta, so that product of the zeros equals to c by a. So what is b here? b is the coefficient of x and a is the coefficient of x square. And here in product of the zeros, c is the constant term and a is the coefficient of x square. So for any quadratic polynomial, we get at the most two zeros we take as alpha and beta. Let us take some examples. Find the zeros of the following polynomials by factorization method and verify the relation between zeros and its coefficients of the polynomials. For example, 4x square minus 3x minus 1. At first you have to find the zeros of the polynomial by factorization method. Then you have to verify the relation between zeros and its coefficients. Okay. Now p of x equals to 4x square minus 3x minus 1. This is the given polynomial. First we factorize this and find the zeros. So factorization by splitting the middle term, that is 4x square, then minus 4x plus 1x minus 1. So minus 4x plus 1x is minus 3x, then minus 4 into plus 1 is minus 4. So 4x is common here, x minus 1, then plus 1 into x minus 1. So the factors are 4x plus 1 and x minus 1 are the factors of this polynomial. Now we have to find using these factors we have to find the zeros of the polynomial. So when p of x equals to 0, then 4x plus 1 equals to 0. So 4x equals to minus 1, x equals to minus 1 by 4. So this is one of the 0 and the other 0. X minus 1 equals to 0, x equals to plus 1. So the zeros are minus 1 by 4 and 1. So these two are the zeros of this polynomial. Now we have to verify using zeros and its coefficients. So sum of the zeros. Sum of zeros. What is the sum of the zeros? Alpha plus beta equals to minus b by a. Right? So alpha plus beta. So here one of the 0 is minus 1 by 4 and other 0 is 1. So which is equal to minus 1 by 4 plus 1, which is 3 by 4, which is equal to minus b by a. Now see here, what is 3 here? 3 is the coefficient of x, and what is a here? Coefficient of x square. So which is nothing but, so 3 we can write as minus of minus 3 by 4, which is nothing but coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. This is what? Sum of the zero. Similarly, product of the zeros. Product of the zeros, that is alpha into beta. So product of the zeros is minus 1 by 4 into 1, that is minus 1 by 4. Product of the zeros. So which is nothing but, what is minus 1 here? Constant term. So constant term divided by coefficient of x square. So coefficient of x square. So first we have to find the zeros of the polynomial by factorization method, that is splitting the middle term. We have to find the zeros of the polynomial. Using these zeros we have to verify the relation between zeros and its coefficient using formula alpha plus beta equals to minus b by a, and product of the zeros alpha beta equals to c by a. So using this relation we can verify the zeros and its coefficients. I hope you understood. These are very simple examples, and even board exam also they will ask simple questions on this. Second example, sum is minus 8 by 3 and product is 4 by 3. Using this sum and product, you have to frame a quadratic polynomial. You have to form a quadratic expression using sum minus 8 by 3 and product 4 by 3. So sum, that is alpha plus beta are the two zeros. So sum is minus 8 by 3. And product of the zeros, that is alpha beta equals to 4 by 3. Now alpha plus beta is minus 8 by 3 and alpha beta is 4 by 3. The required polynomial is of the form, see here, is of the form x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta. So the required polynomial is always in this form, x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. So x square. What is the sum of the zeros here? Minus 8 by 3. And product of the zeros is 4 by 3. So the required polynomial is x square plus 8 by 3x plus 4 by 3. So this is the required polynomial. Further you can simplify and write it as 3x square plus 8x plus 4 is the required polynomial. Now you have to find zeros of the polynomial by splitting the middle term. So Product is 12, sum is 8. That is 6 and 2. 6 2s are 12, 6 plus 2 is 8. So you can split the middle term as, now you have to factorize 3x square plus 6x can be written, and this 8x can be written as 6x plus 2x plus 4. Now take the common one, 3x into x plus 2 plus, here 2 is common, x plus 2. So the factors are 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2 and x plus 2 are the two factors. So that the zeros are 3x plus 2 equals to 0, 3x is minus 2, x is minus 2 by 3. The other one is x plus 2 equals to 0, x equals to minus 2. Therefore, the two zeros are minus 2 by 3 and minus 2 are the two zeros of this polynomial. So what you have to do first? You have to frame a quadratic polynomial using sum and the product. So the formula to write the equation is P of x equals to x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So what is alpha plus beta? Minus 8 by 3 and product alpha beta is 4 by 3. So that the required polynomial is x square minus into minus plus 8 by 3x plus 4 by 3. So you can write like this also, or further simplification you can write it as 3x square plus 8x plus 4. So this is the required polynomial. So P of x equals to 3x square plus 8x plus 4 is the required polynomial. Now you have to find zeros of the polynomial by factorization method. So split the middle term 8x. You have to split as 6 and 2. Why? Because the product is 12 and sum is 8. So that you can write it as 3x square plus 6x plus 2x plus 4, where in first two terms 3x is common. So x plus 2 plus in the next two terms 2 is common. So 2 into x plus 2. So 3x plus 2 into x plus 2 are the two factors. Now find the zeros by equating it with the 0. So 3x plus 2 equals to 0. 3x equals to minus 2. So x equals to minus 2 by 3. Similarly, other factor x plus 2 equals to 0, x equals to minus 2. So the two zeros are minus 2 by 3 and minus 2. Next, third example. Find the quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 5 plus root 2 and 5 minus root 2. You have to frame a quadratic polynomial, and the two zeros are given as 5 plus root 2 and 5 minus root 2. So this is alpha and this one is beta. So the two zeros are alpha and beta. Alpha is 5 plus root 2 and beta is 5 minus root 2. So alpha is 5 plus root 2 and beta is 5 minus root 2. So alpha plus beta is what? 5 plus root 2 plus 5 minus root 2. So plus root 2 minus root 2 cancel, you will get 10. Then product of the zeros alpha beta, that is 5 plus root 2 into 5 minus root 2. So 5 plus root 2 minus 5 minus root 2 is 5 square minus root 2 square. So 5 square is 25, root 2 square is 2, so which is 23. So alpha plus beta is 10 alpha beta equals to 23. Therefore the required polynomial, quadratic polynomial is p of x equals to x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So that is x square minus alpha plus beta is 10 minus 10x and product of the zeros is 23. So this is the required polynomial. I hope you understood this sum. Once again go through all the concept. If the concept is clear, then you can solve any type of sums. So go through exercise 2.1 and 2.2. Solve on your own. Don't refer notes. I had given here notes. So please don't refer these notes. Solve your own. Only you can refer it. After completing your work, you can refer these notes. Understood? Thank you, students.